Tubers, Tubettes, and crazy people. I am definitely going to need your help this year. I know that this is the Christmas season, and the knee-jerk reaction right now for me is to do a Christmas video dressed up as Santa Claus and me as Mrs. Santa Claus and the dogs as reindeer, and showing something that we're doing about having fun, doing this, going to parties, helping people, feeding kids, and all that's great. I just cannot bring myself to do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it last year. And so this is going to be a little bit of a repeat of what I did last year. And I encourage you to stay tuned because I think you can help me. And I think that at the end of the day, you might give me a gift that I will forever cherish. Stay tuned for the video. So, as I mentioned in the little introduction, I'm going to need your help and that you can give me a gift. And so allow me to take a few minutes and explain to you where I'm coming from. I've been reading in the news, I've mentioned this previously, that there is an intensified amount of loneliness, despair, and depression throughout the world. What's the cause of it? I don't know. But people are feeling more and more and more alone. And I'm very cognizant, due to personal experiences in the past for myself, that during the holiday season, if there are no parties for you to go to, or no one visiting you, sending you a Christmas card, which is kind of extinct, I suppose, these days, or writing you an email, or sending you a message on Facebook, and saying hello, and I care about you, and I'm thinking about you. There are some people that just have nothing like that happening in their world, and they are feeling even lonelier and more depressed and more distressed and more downtrodden. And so what can we do to address that? Well, to kind of put a fine point on all of this, I heard a sermon over 10 years ago in church, delivered by Pastor Judd Wilhite in Henderson. And I'm going to do my best to recall it and sort of, I'm not going to do the whole thing. Don't worry. I'm just going to hit the fine points. And he told a story of a young boy, and I believe his name was Tommy. And Tommy was special needs. He was a Down syndrome child. And him and his father had a very, very, very special bond together. They did a lot. He had an awesome dad, and the dad was very involved in Tommy's life. Well, Tommy came to the age of, 12, 13, something like that. And Tommy's dad went down to the local grocer and asked the manager, who was his friend, hey, would it be okay if Tommy worked here as a bag boy, putting no groceries in the bag before the folks left? And the manager agreed. He said, sure, bring Tommy over, we'll put him over here, and we'll keep an eye on him, and we'll make sure everything's fine. And so that's what he did. And Tommy would come home every day from his little job and be so excited and couldn't wait to tell his dad about the people and about the bags. And he and his dad would actually practice putting groceries in a bag. You know, he was showing Tommy you put the heavy cans on the bottom, and then this here, and the eggs always go in a separate bag and on top and all that. And Tommy was really into it. And so he was a little slower than the other checkout boys, the bagging guys at the counter, but he was doing just fine. Nobody was upset. 99% of the people didn't take any exception to it. They were very patient with him. And I'm sure out of sight, out of mind, once the customer came in, bought the groceries, left, they didn't give Tommy another thought. One day, Tommy came home to his dad and said, you know what? I love my customers and I love my coworkers. what can I do that would be extra? What can I do for them? Because I love talking to them, and I always say hi to everybody, and everybody is so nice to me. And so Tommy and his dad sat down, and they wrote out little notes on little, like the size of a Post-it. And the notes would say things like, you look really nice today. You're one of my favorite customers. I'm so glad you came in my line today. I hope you are doing well. I really think you are a nice person. And on and on. They came up with about 50 different sayings. And Tommy would put them in his jacket pocket, and as he bagged the groceries, when he got done, he would personally hand them the note. And the people would take the note, and they would read it, and then they would silently take their groceries and go out the store. And apparently, when I said earlier, out of sight, out of mind, once they got the groceries, they didn't think anymore of Tommy. They were on to their next mission in their day. Apparently they did, because about, I think it was a week or 10 days later, don't hold me to that, the manager of the store noticed that aisle 4, where Tommy worked bagging the groceries, was really long. And there were other checkout counters that were open, had maybe 1 or 2 customers each. But the one where Tommy worked was stretching back into the aisle. And the manager couldn't figure out what was going on. So he asked 3 people. He said, you know what, excuse me, ma'am, sir, but if you like, you can go over here to register 6. And second person, hey, you know, we have an opening over here where there's nobody. We can take you right now. Third person, you know, if you like, you can go over here to register 5. We can get you in and out. All 3 of the people gave him the same response. They said, that's okay. We'll wait because we want to see Tommy. See, Tommy was possibly the only person in their day that paid attention to them and told them something positive, gave them affirmation that they were good, they were okay, they had value to him. They meant something to Tommy. And here we are 10 years later, and I'm hearing about all this depression and all this loneliness and all this alone time. And I'm thinking, you know, if anybody is watching this video right now and they are alone and they are not feeling that good about themselves, and they're watching YouTube or they're watching TV or they're watching families sitting down to dinner and they're by themselves, I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to simply write in the comments, I am alone. That would help me know who watching this feels or are or is alone. You could be in a crowd of people. I can remember being downtrodden more than once, being in a big room with people, and never felt more lonely in my life. I would see people talking, shucking and jiving, enjoying themselves, and then it was just me by myself. And it intensified in my own life. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, where you look around and you realize you're the only one in the restaurant eating by yourself or having that cup of coffee, walking through the park, just living your daily life. There's no Tommy there to give you a positive affirmation. So if you fit into that category, I would ask you to kindly simply state, I'm alone, I feel alone, and then the gift that you watching this that are not alone could give me, and where you could help me, and better yet, help those who made that comment, is simply be Tommy. Offer them a word of encouragement. Show some brotherly love. It is the season. And we don't have enough of that. And I'm guilty of it. I need to learn more to love thy neighbor, to forgive and to forget, and let the past be the past. And the future, the new year is arriving soon. So if you would, I would just ask you to help me and give the gift of brotherly love. I promise you, it's a gift that you won't have to go out and buy. You won't have to wrap it. You won't have to stand in line to buy it. It's going to take 2 or 3 minutes of your life just to respond to someone in this comment thread that says they're feeling lonely, they're down, they're depressed, they're alone, they're having problems. And be Tommy. Give them that word. And I promise you this, that if you give that gift to somebody in this video, you will really be the one that's receiving the gift, because nothing feels better than to give something from your heart and something that helps someone else. And the real winner and the real receiver of the gift is going to be you. Okay, I thank you guys for watching. Merry Christmas. God bless all of you. I'll see you in the next video.